Broadcasting live from atop the Rocky Mountains, the crossroads of the West. You are listening to the Liberty Roundtable Radio Talk Show.
Kurt Crosby, the Honeyman, localhoneyman.com. Heath Perkins, the Money Man, freewatercoinco.com. And I'm Sam Bushman, trying to be the funny man, but I'm failing at the job. Thank you very much. I got to keep my day job, don't I? Wait a minute. This is my day job. Hold on. What do I do, people? What do I do? Anyway, AI boom meets a new question. The question is, is everybody going to be out of a job? And the debate is really about, hey, will AI eliminate jobs? And if so, how fast can people get other jobs and everything else? And I think Heath really hit on it, and so did Kurt, that, hey, you can find different jobs in, fraud prevention. By all means, it's a rich environment, baby. I'll tell you what. And then Heath is saying we need to move people into security, cybersecurity, and I think he's spot on that too. And so I want to say this, it's just like any revolution. Think of the Industrial Revolution, or think when we replaced the horse with the car. Everybody was like, man, what's going to happen? And so now stables didn't go away. Stables just moved from everybody had to have a stable everywhere in every town to where now you got to have a mechanic in every town and a car dealership in every town. And then you got to, have a stable for the rich who have horses. So really all those three things still exist. It's just a different kind of distribution, etc. And I think the same thing is going to be true with AI. I think there's going to be a lot of job losses. There's no doubt about it. And what people need to do is think ahead and retool themselves for jobs. I've already got a job as an AI consultant. I speak all over the country about AI. I provide intelligence and strategic guidance for AI and companies and IT. And so I've already got a job in AI, and so do a lot of people. And so there'll be some changes. It'll change people to be the decision makers rather than the grunt workers is what's going to happen. And I think AI is a magnifier, just like money. If you're evil, money makes you worse. If you're a great, good, honest person, money can do a lot of good. Money's a magnifier. Well, AI is a magnifier as well, and AI will certainly magnify. If you're just not very good, AI will expose you for who you are. If you're actually really good, AI will make you incredibly good. Your output will increase. Instead of working in your business and putting your head down, you'll be able to work on your business. AI does the work. We become the decision makers. And then ultimately, AI provides lift. IT provides lift for your business. But it's company leaders. It's the strength of your executive team that makes decisions. So AI provides the lift. The strategic team decides where do you want to go. AI just helps you get there. And so it's really about leadership is the real AI story, ladies and gentlemen. And I speak all over the country on this topic for a company called Network Providers, Inc., networkprovidersinc.com. If you want a friend in the IT business, they can be your strategic partner, your AI implementer, and more. Spread the word and share the love on that one. But I bring that up because I think it's important for people to really understand. And I think moving into the market that you were mentioning, Heath, I want to get back to you on this about cybersecurity. That is a massive market that needs leadership for sure, sir.
Yeah, very much so. Most of the world's biggest struggles come in the form of ransomware or cybersecurity or anything to these effects, and we don't realize how much is being paid out in these amounts that are being ransomed for getting your data back. You're playing in the trillions already with ransomware in today's world. So like, there's a point where if we're shifting that far and everyone's really shifting, I mean, even mafias around the world are no longer going after the common person shakedown, going, from store to store and getting their funds. They're just going online. Mafias they're hiring the best tech guys out there because they know the most money they can make is ransoming someone's data and forcing them to pay to get it back. Get access back to it. So banks are at risk. All sorts of data is at risk. Infrastructure is also at risk. So whether that's water, any municipality, electrical, like all of this is also being highly probed to find out any weakness so that they can actually ransom off that access back into those digital systems. And so it's a huge issue, and we don't understand how big it is because the the companies and things like that, they don't want this to be something that scares people away from utilizing them as a bank or utilizing them as a financial institution. And so it's something that is really on the hush hush, but in the back room, like, these ransoms are happening consistently. And so, just that industry alone is in the trillions already.
Yes, indeed. So Jeff Bezos, the leader of Amazon, basically said he believes that there'll be more jobs because of AI over the long haul, not less. So, yeah, there'll be a dearth and people will get laid off. But Retool, folks, you get ahead of this thing, you're going to be doing fine. You don't get ahead of it, and you're going to be left behind. I'm telling you that right now. Several Wall Street firms now, they're purchasing early access to posts on Truth Social. All right, they say there's been about 10 companies. They're paying between $60,000 and $100,000 a month for insights into market influencing from primarily Trump's posts. And so here's the idea: if you got a lot of money, you can get access to the Trump Truth Social AI, and then when Donald Trump makes a statement or talks about something or this or that, then you get early access to that data, and then you can make decisions for your business. And people are paying big money for this. Now he's getting sued by a couple of people saying that's unconstitutional, or a couple of firms. You can't do that. It's wrong that some people get access for money to the president of the United States. Your take on this one first, Heath?
I mean, people are going to make money in every way possible. I mean, the president, if he was in a normal business situation, that would make sense. But being that he's not in a business situation, it's almost like the highest bidder gets the most favored information in the fastest, timeliest manner. And so it's not. I don't think a president should be able to do that. Selling off leaking his information before he really does it, in a sense. It's getting it as fast as possible. I've personally been involved where there was a whole movement in day trading where you had people who were just trading Trump's tweets back when he was on Twitter. Back before it became X. And so it is a huge thing. When the president says something, markets will move. And this president realizes the power of that and the monetary benefit he can receive by selling first access to it. And so I don't know if he should be doing personal deals as the president. That to me seems like he's utilizing his office to gain additional funding for his personal life, which that's not serving in the office the way you should be serving in the office.
All right, Kurt, do you want to jump in on this one? What do you think of this?
Well, yeah, one of the first things I'd say is he really making money on this, or is basically just, that's what they're saying, because we know that the president doesn't even take a check at all for being president. He funds things like, the ballroom and so many other things he and his buddies do, and yet people make it seem like, boy, all he's doing is just being in there to make some extra cash. As far as I can tell, it cost President Trump a whole lot of money just to, be the president, not brings him in money.
Yeah, I know he tried to put together a $2 trillion or $1.8 trillion plan to help those who have been abused by the government under lawfare. That got shut down, sadly. Trump could do that personally, though. He's made a couple of $2 billion in the last year alone on his cryptocurrency, on his core social media company and everything else. And so I would like to see him do it personally and just say, hey, if the government can't do it, I certainly can. And he could help out those who need it the most. When let's talk about giving access to the president's words first, that has, constitutional issues to it that concern me a little bit in terms of the First Amendment and everything else. Does somebody, because they have a lot of money, have right to take, if he says something that moves the market up or down, and then they can take advantage of it first before I even ever see it? Are we giving people unfair advantage? There is something to that. right? At the same time, here's the problem. These are the clowns that shut down Donald Trump and said, hey, you can't even talk. You're the president of the United States, the leader, the commander of the free world. But yet we will just shut you down because we're in high tech and we know better, and you can't even talk. And that's the other side of the coin that everybody's ignoring too, is you can say, well, Trump's doing this. Well, at least he's letting us speak freely, whereas the other guys didn't, Kurt.
Well, that's right. And if you're talking about insider trading, you don't have to look very far than Congress. I mean, those guys have been basically making
ask Nancy Pelosi, huh?
Deals forever. They get in there as poor as church mice, and then in a few years, all of a sudden, they got billions on the asset books.
Quick pause. More in seconds.
Are you ready to stand up for your community and support your local sheriff? Join the Constitutional Sheriffs and Peace Officers Association and become a vital member of the Sheriff's Citizens Posse. At cspoa.org, we empower citizens like you through weekly webinars, arming you with the knowledge to back your constitutional county sheriff. Together, we can uphold our Constitution and ensure liberty and justice for all. Your community needs you now more than ever.
Scott Bradley here. Most Americans are painfully aware that the nation is on the wrong track and in dire straits. Unfortunately, most political pundits only nibble around the edges when they claim to address the issues. Even worse, many of the so-called solutions are simply rewarmed servings of what got us into the mess we currently face. And the politicians think we're so gullible and naive that we'll buy their lies that they have reformed, and now understand where they led us astray. Unfortunately, the truth of the matter is that they simply wish to continue to hold power. The solution to America's challenges is found in returning to the timeless principles found in the United States Constitution. My book and lecture series will reawaken in Americans an understanding and love of the principles which made this nation the freest, most prosperous, happiest, and most respected nation on earth. Visit topreservethenation.com and order my book and lectures to begin the restoration of this great nation.
All right, the Money Man, freewatercoinco.com. Heath Perkins with us. The Honey Man, Kurt Crosby with us. Localhoneyman.com. Trump's economic problems, says the headline. Stocks are strong, but voters remain unhappy. The White House is trying to convince Americans that tax cuts, deregulation, and manufacturing investment are strengthening the economy. But Americans are going, wait a minute, when I go to the store, it's expensive. When I try to buy a house, interest rates are out of control. This one polling group puts Donald Trump's approval rating on the economy at only 32%, they claim, creating a potentially serious issue for the midterms. I've got comments on this, but let's go to Heath first on this one. What do you say to that? Respond to that one, Heath.
Yeah. So deregulation, it's been helpful, but a lot of us don't know how to function underneath less regulation like we have in the past. The economy's interesting because we've become so complacent with how things shifted that it's hard for us to go back to how things were. For instance, right now in the real estate market, you have everyone kind of complaining, saying, hey, my house went on the market a week ago and it's not sold. Why is it not sold? And it's like, well, historically, homes take 3 to 6 months to sell, but because we're so used to homes selling in a month, a week, whatever it is, in the near
and we're
past.
so used to people paying more than even the asking price and bidding wars happening, right?
Yeah. So we're getting used to a phase that wasn't reality. And by us getting used to that phase that wasn't very realistic, going back to something that's more realistic, having more manufacturing jobs and things like that here in the U.S., less regulation, it's hard for us to function because we got used to the way it was. And so, yes, it's not convenient that the interest rates are at 7%, but that's a normal interest rate. We got so used to 3% interest rates on homes and everything else, and everyone, over purchased on that, to where if they had a balloon and it went up, they can't afford their homes anymore. So like we aren't doing things that are benefiting us in the long term. Like when we went away from manufacturing.
So letting interest rates rise is not the problem. It's the holding them down so long that everybody got over purchased on their homes. The price of homes went up because of the fake lower mandated interest rate kind of thing. And now we've kind of think that's normal. And now when interest rates get normal and things go up to a reality, no one can function. And again, it's the Federal Reserve meddling that's causing the problem, Kurt.
Bingo.
Well, Sam, you couldn't be more correct. Another little story I wanted to bring up that I'm wondering if this has to do with the AI/Federal Reserve, all that stuff connected. Are you guys familiar with something called Anthropic's Mythos? You know what
A
that
little
is?
bit. What do you want to know about it?
Well, I saw a piece, and this was a while back, so I think it's, a little old, but I still wonder about it. The headline reads, Besant, that's the Secretary of the Treasury, pulled top bank CEOs into an emergency meeting over an AI that found thousands of flaws no one knew existed. And so I guess he had, the big boys from Citigroup, Bank of America, Wells Fargo's, Goldman Sachs, Bloom, JP Morgan, all these guys are in some room with Besant, and they're talking about this Anthropic thing called Mythos. I guess it's an AI model, but I guess they say it wasn't designed specifically for hacking. Its advanced coding and reasoning capabilities have given it something far more alarming. They say the ability to find and exploit software vulnerabilities that human security researchers missed for decades. So, go ahead.
Most people know Anthropic as Claude, just so you know, because that's their kind of main AI tool.
Okay.
And so if you use Claude, people will know more than the Anthropic point. And yes, the Mythos is a model that most people don't get access to. And it's the most powerful, specialized frontier model. It's used for cybersecurity primarily, and it's state-of-the-art in security. Trump doesn't want everybody to have it. It does biology research, healthcare, all kinds of different stuff. It's not simply the next normal Claude model that everyone gets, and that's kind of the point. Its capabilities are so powerful that Anthropic restricts access to organizations who are involved in trusted access programs. They say those capabilities can be used to find bugs and fix software. And some people are getting a hold of this model and using it for sophisticated attacks. Basically, there's two closely related models now. Claude Mythos 5, the relatively unrestricted, highly capable model. I have access to that. And then there's Fable 5, which I use on a daily basis. Same underlying model, but with safeguards, so that Anthropic can protect the... so they say Anthropic describes Fable 5 as a Mythos model, but for general use with guardrails. So anyway, I don't want to get into it too much, but my point is that people need to understand this is super capable, and it can be used. Technology is neither good nor bad, gentlemen. It's in the hands of those who are using it. And Trump's saying it's so powerful, we shouldn't let average people get a hold of it right now. And I think there's actually some truth to that. The problem that I have is, should government be the arbiter of that, or who should, and how, and etc. I don't think government should be at the helm, is the point, Kurt.
Well, anyway, the bottom line on this story, remember how Chuck Harder used to tell us, read the bottom up. The last paragraph,
yes, sir.
The last paragraph says, for the average bank customer, the immediate takeaway is that the people responsible for protecting their money are taking this seriously enough to hold emergency meetings. Whether that preparation proves adequate is the question.
It will not.
No one in Washington can yet answer.
It will not. I can. I'm telling you right now, it will not be adequate. You have no idea what this thing's capable of, folks. It hacks its way out of things and everything else. And I'm telling you right now, AI is a wonderful thing in the hands of the right people, but when programmers don't put the guardrails in place and it hops, it's like government. Government like fire is great when it's in the fireplace and managed right. So is AI, but when it gets out of the fireplace, it's destructive as all get out, Heath.
Yep. And that's what I was mentioning. Like, that's why it's so lucrative for a lot of these mafias and other things to have hackers that go in there and do this. And if these hackers are so efficient, now they're utilizing AI, like you just said, it's the wielder of the AI that's the danger. It's not necessarily AI itself. AI will amplify your capabilities, whether that's good or bad. And due to that, you have concerns like this. You have the financial institutions getting together and having these emergency meetings because we're concerned about whose hands these are in and what they're willing to do with that information. This is, if it can go back and look at all of these past, patches or whatever else that's technologically there for these financial institutions that can be hacked into, like, this is everyone's information, everyone's data financially, or even the entire financial system. It's at risk.
And this is what Elon Musk was using, by the way, folks, when he was running Doge, and he was drilling into this, going, hey, man, there's fraud everywhere, and there's people with money-making machines. They got machines that just literally print money to their bidding and everything else. This is what he discovered with engines like this, whether it's DeepSeek, whether it's Claude's, latest engine, or whether it's something else that Elon Musk has or whatever else. He's involved in X, and I think his thing is called Grok and stuff like that, right? Anyway, all I'm telling you is that's what he was using to discover all these things. So, yes, it can be used for righteous purposes, and yes, it's something that we need to make sure that we have the governance stay ahead of the release of some of this stuff. I think there's some truth to say we can't let the laws and the rules and everything just get so far behind the technology, the horses out of the barn before these decisions get made. I think there's a valid point to that. I just don't think government should drive the train every time on these things. And I think it's important. The reason I started out when Kurt said, do you know about this? I said, I only know a little bit. I actually know quite a bit. The only thing is that anybody who thinks they know it all, they don't have a clue either. Because I'm telling you, it's happening so fast like a freight train. Don't pretend you know it all, because you don't. Today you're right, tomorrow you're wrong. So I'm just telling you, as a tech professional, be very careful. Kurt?
Well, it sounds like I remember all those times when you taught me all about software. And imagine a blind guy that knows more about computers than most of the rest of us, and that's Sam right there, ladies and gentlemen. He can.
By the way, I'm writing video software right now, Kurt. So there you go.
I'm not surprised, Sam. I can barely read the word video software, much less write it.
Yeah, so I'm writing it. Then I'm saying, when you guys get connected, do you see each other on the screen?
Cool.
Nice.
It's kind of fun. But I'm creating a product called Beat Crew Pro, and it will, we do this program with a service right now called EV Mux. But anyway, pretty soon we'll be using my software to do the whole show, video and playing videos and everything. So that's kind of cool. And, there's a lot going on, I'll tell you what, in the world. And like I say, people have to gear up for this. Everybody's debating now the inflationary reality and saying, are they going to increase interest rates, lower interest rates? There was a lot of job loss, and so there was less jobs than people expected. And many people are just simply getting out of the workforce and giving up. Kurt, final word to you.
Well, I always wonder if are they really getting out, or are they just, finding a different way? Maybe they're, doing a farmer's market thing like me. I don't report in my job stuff, who knows what they're doing.
Yeah, maybe they're doing the underground trade thing. Maybe they're buying constitutional currency from the good old people over there at freewatercoinco.com, and then maybe they're working for constitutional currency instead. Whoa, baby. Heath Perkins, thank you, my friend. God bless you and all that you guys do.
Thank you, Sam. Appreciate it.
freewatercoinco.com. Honeyman, localhoneyman.com has got some specials. He can ship incredible raw honey delivered all over the nation. The health benefits are incredible. I'm Sam Bushman. LibertyRoundtable.com. We're available on Truth Social. You might even learn about what we have to say early if you pay the piper. Pay Donald and you'll get our information early, maybe, right? Maybe Donald could give us a little finder's fee for some of that info. What do you think, people? Just finding a way to make money in the new economy. You know me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, God save our constitutional republic.